The lubricant sales funnel, or the sales funnel in general, is an outdated concept which needs an update. That's my core idea. And to be honest, it's not my idea. I'm not a marketing researcher or anything like that. This idea has been out there now for about 5 years, but everyone I know in the lubricants industry is still selling as if the funnel exists, and it doesn't. Let me kind of present my case here, right? So this is, again, not research that I've done. There's a concept called the messy middle. And it's not my idea, it's Google's idea, right? So if anyone has more data on the planet on customer buying behaviors, it's Google, right? What they've identified is that there is no clear customer funnel anymore. What customers do is they kind of come into the buying journey and then they have completely unpredictable behaviors. They have touch points that go all across the internet. They may do a little bit of research on blogs. They might uncover your brand on social media. They might see you on LinkedIn. They might have some experience with it. They might hear through word of mouth. And they put all of these data points together, and then that's what gives them the impetus to get out of that cycle and make a purchase. Now, you might think, oh, I'm a bit skeptical of this, but think about your own buying behavior. When I try to buy something that is important to me, that's what I do, right? I would, for example, if I'm looking for running shoes, right? I'm not built like a runner, but if I'm looking for running shoes, I do research online. I don't go and talk to a customer representative anymore. I do a lot of research online. So I go and I research what is the most popular running shoes? What are runners wearing now? What are the prices that I can get across the internet? If I buy it in Australia versus if I buy something from the US and get it shipped over, can I get some kind of discount? I might look for the brand's Instagram account. I might look at sponsorships. I might see an ad on a bus. And after I have put all of those bits of information together, then I might decide to purchase. Now, the trigger for me purchasing can be completely outside of the brand's control. So maybe it's my old pair of shoes falls apart, right? Or it just so happens that I got a little bonus, right? And I want to treat myself. But that's the thing that instigates the purchase. Now, again, you might be a little bit skeptical when you say, that's the way that consumers buy. But businesses don't buy like that, right? So this messy middle is not applicable to me. Well, Google would say otherwise, and they have the data to back it up. And I can actually link, they did a really good video series on the messy middle if you want to uncover what are the sort of like the psychological drivers that cause people to buy online. Okay, so I'll link to that. Now, in some circumstances, right, there is actually a formalized process. So most people would think of like a procurement tender and say that is a clear example of a funnel, right? So we are taking someone from that, top of funnel all the way through to the bottom of the funnel. And I would say that even then, in that instance, the model of the funnel is broken, because the model of the funnel, I think, implies that if you are a lubricant supplier, that you are pushing your customers down the funnel, right? So you are taking them from, they sort of don't have any exposure to our brand. We get them exposure through marketing, and then slowly we cram them down the funnel, and we are trying to plug the leaks everywhere we can. And it's what we are doing that is causing people to get to the bottom of the funnel and ultimately become a buyer. And I think that model is also broken. All it requires is a small change, and it's to flip the funnel upside down and create a pyramid. So a pyramid is one in which the customer steps up to the next level of their own volition. Now, when we are climbing a pyramid or we are climbing a mountain, sometimes we backtrack, right? So sometimes we move from the bottom to halfway. And if anyone knows anything about climbing Mount Everest, right, you acclimatize, then you might go back down to base camp. Then you head up to camp 2. Then you go back down to camp 1. So it's not a direct and linear progression the way that gravity is through a funnel. So the customer is constantly making these decisions on their own to progress to the next stage of the buying process. And all you can do is provide the customer touch points and the information that is going to help them make that decision to progress on to the next step, right? So that's where I think that sort of very, very slight tweak in our psychology around the way that our customers buy could help the lubricants industry quite a fair bit. Now, I am not, as I said at the introduction to this video series, I am not a sales specialist. I'm not a marketing specialist. I'm just an engineer who observes the way that my customers buy product. So if you have a strong disagreement with anything in this video, put it in the comment section below.